like the sun rises in the east, as so a pump will unfold in this Metro Fitness. Now, a little bit more of a specific reference, but I think just as true nonetheless. So arms, let's just break down what the lift might potentially look like. Push downs, mainly push downs. This gym, actually, there's a pretty decent dip machine. Maybe I'll throw some of those in as like kind of a squeezing kind of movement. But skull crushers are kind of working their way out of my tricep game. And the reason I say that is they just kind of, I feel like they almost do more harm than good, Now, of course, they have a place. Every movement has a place. But like heavy ass skull crushers, plate and 25, 2 plates on like an easy bar, it just turns into so much. I don't even know what. It's something about the movement, because if I do a regular push down with like a full stack and then plate slapped to the side, like that feels fine. But when it comes to the skull crushers, it's got to just be somehow the tension translates in a worse way. Like it's just maybe a less natural position, and your results may vary. Maybe your elbows are made of steel cable, and nothing you can do can bother them. But odds are, you probably fall into the category of, if you do skull crushers too hefty, you're gonna feel it. That sucks. Nobody. It's like you get a leg day and you get a twinge in your knee, or no fun, right? But light skull crushers, as like a superset where I, maybe pre-exhausted with rope extensions or something, or dips, and then did skull crushers, that's a different story. That could be kind of cool. But with like any kind of heavy pressing work, I think dips and regular kind of push downs reign supreme, at least for me, right? Your results may vary. I used to like the over the head dumbbell extension, where you're holding the dumbbell like this, kind of wrapping around the bottom of it. It just doesn't do it for me as much now. But that's that's part of lifting that's a bit more personal and subjective. You try enough stuff out and you start to realize what kind of clicks and what doesn't. But no need to really complicate it too much. And it's a little bit of I always reference the same scene in Indiana Jones, where he's got all those damn chalices in the some kind of chamber. I haven't watched that movie since I was like a kid, so I don't really remember the exact like storyline or anything. But this guy's got so many damn freaking options. All these things are looking, and then obviously the right one is like the scrappy looking cup. But just looking at that, with the working out, plus with everybody posting about it now, like honestly, I'd say this is the great fitness era in terms of just like populace and focus and everybody talking about it and everything else, which is a good thing. But it's almost some aspects could be too much of a good thing and kind of turns itself around. So like, what are you supposed to tell a beginner, right? He just watched guys on TikTok or just random videos or whatever basically do 100 different tricep variations. What's he gonna think? It's like, okay, shit, I gotta do all 100 of these tricep variations. That's what everybody else is doing. It's kind of a, not in like a mean way, but kind of in like a monkey see, monkey do sort of thing. Like just copying what other guys are doing. I think that's how basically all of us kind of came up. I wasn't writing out my own workouts in the beginning. I had one of my older bodybuilder buddies back when I started in high school. He showed me some stuff, and then like watching videos of other guys posting about how to work out, or just straight copying somebody's workout that they posted, like things like that. But eventually, you should start to realize, like, okay, sure, I could do a million different tricep movements, but I'll just kind of pick between the couple that I personally like, and I'll change it up. Of course, I might do some different styles and supersets and whatever else, like overhand, underhand, just so I can kind of shock the tricep, as it were. But don't freak if you're not doing overhead cross body extension, super squeezers or anything else, right? Like if you're doing some kickers or some spinners and slammers, no, don't sweat, right? keep in mind what your real goal is every time you come to the gym. And go hard, get a pump. Ideally, leave as fatigued as you can in that particular muscle. Go get some grub, man. That's kind of all. That's kind of all it really adds up to. Now, it's more complicated than that, but that's a pretty good way to go about it. And then biceps, I've almost got a little bit more leeway because relative to my arms, I think my tricep game. What's over that? My tricep game is a little slacking. I've been working on it. So a lot of the extra overhead stuff and real methodical kind of reps with the rope where I really get a complete full stretch, I think it's been working out pretty well for me. But biceps, I don't anticipate a big, massive overhaul of how I've been doing biceps, right? I mean, heavy curls, lighter squeezing curls, sometimes heavy curls supersetted into a set of light squeezing curls. Plus you throw some machines and cable work in there, you're kind of good, right? As much as these guys love looking at the anatomy of the brachialis and the long head and the short head and the whatever, look at it from more of a functional manner. What's my bicep really doing? What's my tricep really doing? So, it's not the most complicated thing in the world. That's all I'm really trying to convey. But I think within about, it shouldn't take too long. I guess we'll just have to see. I'm not totally sure, but let's just jump straight to that first set of triceps. Rope extensions first. Perfect. Not too heavy, right in the middle. But with these being like a slow, with a good squeeze at the bottom, I think, I don't want to say a number, I don't want to cut myself short, but 20 reps might be optimistic. In a good way, of course. All right. Yeah, one or two more of those. Oh my God. One more. All right, I can't move on. These feel too good. I gotta do at least one more of these. Same weight, same everything. Holy shit. Oh my God. All right. I'm honestly considering just doing 2 more of these. Yeah, shit. I can't think of a movement that's going to feel better than this right now. Which I wouldn't want to do this every lift forever. But for today, me and the rope are getting extra close. A lot of bonding time. No. Okay. Oh my God. One more. Then we can start curling something. Okay. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Yeah. You may think that lift was a little too simple, but if your triceps were as pumped as mine, let's just say you would disagree. I'm waiting on YouTube to add pump-o-vision so that you can really get the full effect. Might take a while though. But triceps done, and I'm not joking, these things are freaking tight. Yeah. So, let's go curl something. All right, I have warmed up. 60s, a little too light. Now 70s, right? I'm talking right in between Mama and Papa Bear. This is where it's at least for set number 1. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, all right. 60s for the next set. That's a good one now. Oh my God. Holy crap. Oh.
I think 2 of those will be good. Let's go get some cable work started now. So yeah, exactly the opposite of what I was saying in the car. I thought buys would be simpler and the tricep portion would be the tricky part. Yeah, a little flip-flop, but pump is going quite well indeed. So let's keep up that momentum. So heavy, nasty curls. Now time for much more controlled squeezing. You could kind of call this a curl. This almost has kind of its own name because this is a bicep biased pull down. You can almost say chin up in a sense, right? Now, of course, it definitely looks like a pull down. This is the exact same setup I use for pull downs. Seat, cable, pull, right? Not exactly. I say this every time, but I think it warrants explanation because I never see anybody doing this. And it is a really cool squeeze. Plus, it's almost kind of like some machines are harder at the bottom and lighter at the top. So even once I can't really hold it anymore, I can still bust out some partials and really fill my biceps up with blood. Like this is definitely up there, at least with one of my favorite styles of movement. You know, I might not do this every lift, but throwing it in does kind of add some spice to it. But grab on yay, more fingery. I don't want to use my forearms a lot. And even though I am doing a pull down motion, usually you might be thinking, okay, pull with my elbows to work my lats, right? I'm thinking not so much elbow, more hand. Like I'm not pulling my elbows toward my lats here. I'm trying to pull my hands to my shoulders, right? Now I'll get a little bit of lat activation. It's kind of hard not to. And as the set progresses, I might start using a little more lats to essentially give myself self-assistance. But I don't want to get like, the ratio I usually want to get is like 70% biceps, 30% lats. Because if I kept doing this forever, it would transition from a bicep movement to a lat movement, which is not what I want. But let's say you're doing back and buys, this might be an awesome transition from back to buys because it's kind of a best of both worlds kind of situation. But I'm just trying to feel my bicep squeeze and pull my hands toward my shoulders like that. Exactly what I was saying in the car, right? What your bicep does. So let's get amped up and make this shit happen. All right. Yeah.
Buddy is talking about
Yeah.
timer, right?
Yeah.
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 Here. Yeah, but
No. No.
yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah.
Oh man. I like this one.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. All right. Next set will be right here, but regular curls instead of this, you know, overhead stuff. I think this will be it. Light curls, a little bit lighter than those rope pushdowns were before. And this set will have multiple phases. Phase 1, second or so hold, slow eccentric, slow-ish. Control might be a better word. Hold for about a second, as many as I can go. And by the time I can't really hold it, I'm gonna switch gears, and instead of more controlled reps, I'm gonna get a little nasty and kind of turn it into a like a mechanical drop set, because the swinging rep is easier per rep than a slow squeezing one. So that I look at this as like a best of both worlds. I think you might have and I'm not trying to dog on you, but somebody who might look at this set and think, oh, it was good in the first half, and then you totally let your form go to shit at the end. I mean, of course, you have some logic with that argument, but right, if you, like I said a second ago, if you could feel the pump that I'm getting from it, you might change your tune a little, right? So don't get too caught up with just making sure every rep is absolutely perfect. I'm more concerned with making sure every rep is absolutely nuts. And I took a little bit of a longer rest period, so let's go up one notch. Okay, oh my goodness. Oh, let's post down and get out of here. Arms complete to my satisfaction. There we go. Arms pumped. Well, I guess that's it. Arms pumped. But certainly to my oh, shit. Measuring tape next arm day. Oh, man. And I was so specific about saying I was going to remember it this time, too. Well, at least my mind was more pump focused than measuring focused. And I wasn't joking. I said this a couple lifts ago. Don't measure your arms every day. That might be a little too obsessive, because they're not growing on a day-by-day basis, right? They're growing more on like month to month. So if you measure them every day, you might set yourself up for a little bit of discouragement. But either way, let's see how we're looking. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I would say that this is a pretty dang good arm pump. And food-wise, still not pushing the envelope just yet. Because right now I'm essentially just eating at my discretion, right? I'm hungry, eat some food. Now I'm about to get to a point probably within the next week, 2 weeks, where I'll really start making sure I'm eating the same amount evenly throughout the day. So, you know, meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal whatever, just to get this bulk started on a consistent basis. But for now, coming off of this whole prep and everything, my regular appetite level of food intake is just about right for slow and steady weight gain. But eventually, my natural instinct to eat won't be enough. So that's where I'll start to have to make sure I'm really actually eating enough, meal by meal by meal, to continue a steady upward trend of beef getting put onto this freaking frame. But we're shutting down. Let's get out of here. There we go. Yeah, that was a good arm day. Simple, but effective, right? I mean, let's say you train the the fanciest kind of jiu-jitsu or something or other, right? The guy who shows up with a car hits the dude with full force, guess what? He's gonna win. And that might be kind of I think that analogy is a little bit stupid. That doesn't really correlate. But all I'm trying to get at is, if you're trying to break down a brick wall, you don't have to set up dynamite and a whole fancy ass setup, really complicated and everything else. You just go crazy with a sledgehammer and odds are you're gonna get through it. So I'm just trying to say a lift doesn't have to be super complicated with a lot of different parts and everything else.
You know, it could be something as simple as just rope extensions, plus, you know, a variety of curls. And if you go hard, I really think you're good, you know? And, you know, of course, there's the argument of, all right, well, you know, are you really properly stimulating your triceps, or are you actually getting enough volume or any? It's like, it's certainly worth discussing, but I think the majority of people kind of getting into that discussion aren't really getting after it themselves, you know? It's, what's the word? It's not scope creep, but it's, oh yeah. Yeah, I know a certain Eric who loves this phrase, analysis paralysis, right? You get so concerned about how to make your training better that you actually kind of start to lose focus on what really makes your training quality session by session. And that's just going crazy, you know? Like, I would have a much worse workout if between sets and everything else, I didn't get get myself huffing and puffing and playing all those songs and like thinking, all right, you know, and just going nuts, right? So when it comes to really getting amped like that, I don't want to say get pissed, because I don't think pissed is the right word. That's not exactly what I'm trying to get at here. But, you know, like get excited, you know, get amped. Like, you're not just here to play around. You're here to throw around some shit, really push yourself, and in doing so, you get to work towards something that you want later on. And the actual pushing yourself part, that's fun too. So it's just like, the harder you go, I feel, the more fun you're gonna have all around, right? Kind of a Rob Deerdeck style, work hard, play hard kind of situation, right? So I think some guys kind of get misled by that logic and think, all right, maybe, oh, I gotta be serious. I'm a serious bodybuilder. I'm serious. Like, you ever see that clip of the guy doing hack squats, and like a bunch of guys are kind of laughing around him, and he stops his set and he's like, get that shit out of here, bro. Get it out of here, bro. Now, the guys might have been getting a little bit in his space, right? Like, if I was doing a set of triceps and there's a crew of guys like all like really kind of goofing off like right behind me, I mean, you know, that might get me a little annoyed, right? Like who wouldn't? But I'm really kind of focused on my set. You know, serious doesn't mean like serious. Like, serious means like you can't really be distracted. You know, like I remember I was talking about squats one day, and like a serious set of squats, I don't remember who I was telling this, but like, if you're really into a set, there shouldn't be much around you that can distract you from what you're doing. Apart from somebody like doing something dangerous, like potentially bumping into you when you're squatting or something, like apart from something like that, like if you get an itch on your nose when you're really going crazy on dumbbell bench, or maybe your music stopped playing right as you were about to start your set, like if you're really serious about it, and I'm not trying to say like if that annoys you, you're not serious, but like if you're really into a set like that, then nothing should really be able to distract you. You know, like on my craziest sets, I've had guys like screaming at me while I'm squatting. One more, like when I look back at the video and I hear them, you know, cheering me on and shit, I don't even remember them saying that. Like, all I remember hearing is the music that I was playing, and then just I don't really have specific thoughts. Like, I'm not thinking phrases in my mind if I'm under like a multiple 100-pound squat, or if I'm benching, like it's a very primal thought that kind of bubbles up in my mind, because I'm not even thinking like, all right, yeah, come on, get a few more. It's just oh goodness, yeah. But that's what I'm getting at, right? And the guys who can take their sets like that, they can have a little more fun in between sets, maybe chatting around, you know, talking smack or whatever, because their actual work is being done. You know, they don't have to say it. Like, it's this is something which, I mean, it's kind of just a personal thing for me. Like, I'm not saying this is correct or incorrect, but from how I look at it, you know, when guys are just constantly like, dude, I'm gonna be a pro in 3 years, or I'm gonna hit 225 this summer, or I'm gonna, like, insert whatever kind of goal that they've got lifting related. Now, it could be anything, but of course I'm gonna be talking about, you know, stuff that's lifting related. the guys who are constantly saying that, of course there's a percentage that actually go out and, still do it and kill it. But I feel like in a way, when you're trying to put that out to the universe, like by trying to convince somebody else that you're going to be able to do it, I think that might stem from potentially an internal, all right, I'm not really sure I can do it. Now, that sort of talk I think is awesome. Like, frankly, I think a bit of delusion is almost necessary if you really want to dive into something like full throttle, very specified, like with the training. I mean, if I didn't like working out, do you really think I'd be doing it essentially daily, having to be one of the things that I think about and put the most effort into for the last like damn near 7 years? Probably not. So of course I like it, right? But if you're always trying to say that, then kind of think about what that's maybe stemming from, right? So from my perspective, I mean, this is half the reason why I didn't really say or like make a big announcement like 12 weeks out from show day number 1 or whatever, because it's like, talk is cheap, man, right? Anybody can. I've seen a million TikTok posts of like kind of up and comer characters, and I'm gonna do this, and I haven't seen them for months or years even, right? So it's anybody can talk about what they're going to do, and it's kind of fun because you're almost emulating to yourself what it might be like to achieve it, right? Like you're almost oh yeah, it's gonna feel so good once I do this, and in your mind you're almost in a sense getting the same reaction as though you had won it. Like if you emulate yourself achieving something or like winning something, and you're really like getting off on the feeling like, oh my god, it's gonna be awesome. I think if you do that a little too much, it might actually take away from some of your motivation, because that's the cool part. That's the part at the end. Don't forget all the shit that you've got to do in between, So I'm more concerned with that. Like for me, and I'm a bit spoiled because I just like the lifting a ton, but for me, I'm more concerned with just making sure my lifts, my calories, my recovery are all on track, and that's what makes me feel good. Like I'm not really, I mean, there's a million guys bigger than me, and like more with like fancier genetics and like slimmer waist and bigger legs and everything else. That's not throwing me off my game, because comparing exactly where two people are at any given moment, that's not really what matters. It's more so what your trajectory is. So as long as I know I'm in the green and I'm in the positive, I'm making upward trajectory and I'm getting where I want to go, dude, that's all I care about, right? Slow and steady. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, be more concerned about the smallest unit of steps that you have to do to get where you want to go. And if you can do that pretty consistently, shit, man, you're gonna be there before you know it, right? I mean, time is passing by like that. Like I remember the first time I still remember pretty vividly, like my first lifts in my basement gym, where I had just the dumbbells and like a barbell, my dad's old adjustable bench, which is like a pretty seriously beefy bench. Like out of all the equipment in that little home gym, the bench was like really professional. The rest of it was maybe a little jankier. But I still remember those early lifts like they were nothing. I still look back at all my like early high school like posing pictures sometimes when I'm like in my school's gym bathroom with their mirror doing like a side chest while I'm holding my phone. Man, I felt like a freaking badass with my first couple chest pumps, right? And that feeling doesn't really change. I think it might improve over time, right? Because obviously, the freakier you get, you kind of do look a little bit cooler. But being pumped up, doesn't matter if you're 150 pounds or 250 pounds. You're still looking at yourself bigger than you usually are, and you kind of get that post-workout catharsis of like, well, I think that's the right word. I might be, saying the wrong shit or whatever. But that post-workout kind of relief of like, oh yeah, because it might not have been a hard workout. Like I didn't finish that workout and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad it's over. That was so hard. But to your body, I feel like, and this is just kind of, bro science guessing, but my triceps were just kind of sending like, danger signals to my brain. Like, dude, you're getting stressed out right now. Like this is a stressor to your body. So once that's over, it's like your subconscious almost has a little bit of a relief of like, oh, finally, you can relax. And that's just a cool feeling, right? So when you combine that with looking at yourself all pumped up in the mirror, gym lighting, you know, you get your tank on or whatever else, that's just a good feeling, right? So that's what I'm more concerned with. Quality lifts day after day after day after day, and wherever it takes me, that's just what's going to happen, you know. So I think that's a pretty good mindset to have. But that's just something that I think for me, you know, you're your own guy. You've lived your own complete life with completely different challenges and circumstances and ups and downs and everything else. So same thing with the training, motivation wise, you know, maybe what I think works, you're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about, Sam? I'm at battle with everybody else in the gym. I want to be the hardest, you know, and if that gets you amped, nobody should be able to say otherwise, right? As long as you know you really believe it and you're getting after it. But that's the end of my little shtick. I feel good. I got arms pumped. Plan for tomorrow, probably mainly hamstrings. I might even just give quads a full break and just do quads on a weekly basis for a little bit before I can build up some more kind of momentum with them. So don't be surprised if tomorrow is like hamstrings and forearms or something. Maybe kind of a fancier little combo. But post-workout meal will be probably a pound of ground beef. I'm a little behind on my protein intake, and some rice packets. That will do me quite nicely. So I'll see you for whatever hamstring based lift tomorrow brings.